It's a new year for Minecraft, and its modding scene continues to be one of the most active modding communities of today. Even as 2026 is in the early stages, a plethora of developments have been in the works behind the scenes of modded Minecraft. I'm Critters, and welcome to the Mod Menagerie. And today, let's uncover 10 upcoming Minecraft mods to look forward to, hopefully in 2026 and beyond. Starting off, we have Detour. Detour serves to be a complete game transformation mod for Minecraft, redefining the current gameplay and adding a plethora of new features to be fresh and dynamic. The developers want Detour to rework the current gameplay of Minecraft to create a gameplay system that's both cohesive but mysterious and foreign. Its first biggest change is its many overhauls to the vanilla progression system. Much of the vanilla progression system has been fully rebuilt from the ground up, resulting in gameplay that's far more interconnected and polished than before. Initially, Detour would feel like playing a different game entirely, but the systems it will include offers greater freedom, challenge, and tightly knit gameplay. Detour's reworks will be complemented by numerous additions in the mod, from new world generation, combatants and gear, to utilities, a custom soundtrack, and even its new suite of vanilla textures are just some of the many new things being added into Detour. These new features lean into the otherworldly atmosphere old Minecraft exhibited, and is felt across the many abstract locations contained in the mod, from the vast expanse of the nether roof to the hidden depths below bedrock. Detour's extensive and interconnected design approach is intended to be played on its own. Just this mod alone will be enough to make the game feel completely different. The team have released numerous devlogs over the past year, covering numerous aspects of their mod in detail and what the player will expect when they play Detour. A recent update by the developers hints they will soon release a video clarifying what Detour is, the developers' goals of the mod, and what the future development plans are. As of this video, there's no estimated window for when the mod will be released, but it will be made for Fabric 1.21.1. Detour's vision is bold, but its originality and gameplay shows great promise. Suffice to say, Detour could become one of the most unique gameplay mods to surface in the current modding scene. Moving to the next mod is perhaps one of the most anticipated mod developments for Minecraft in recent times, Thaumcraft 7. Thaumcraft was one of the biggest magic mods that became playable, offering a whole new sector to experience in Minecraft. After many years, Azanor, the visionary behind the mod, ceased development indefinitely. However, one team have taken it upon themselves to continue Azanor's legacy and return Thaumcraft to the forefront of the Minecraft modding scene. Since 2019, rights to develop Thaumcraft were granted to the Cult of the Full Hub, the team responsible for producing the Thermal series of mods, and Sorcelation and Redstone Arsenal, just to name a few. And it wasn't until 2021 when modding developments commenced. Thaumcraft 7 won't be a direct copy of the previous Thaumcraft versions, but it will continue on the legacy of Azanor's project and return it to the current modding scene. The mod will be drawing upon mechanics from previous editions, whilst receiving brand new elements from the modding team. Areas like Flux, Warp, Oromancy, Wands, Research, and more will be present within the mod. Some getting minimal changes, others will be overhauled extensively to be new. Unlike the previous editions, Thaumcraft 7 will also receive a complete visual makeover to his assets to create a sense of consistency across the mod and the Japper textures. Initially, the mod will be targeted for Forge 1.20.1, but will eventually be shifted towards NeoForge once it's in a playable state. Although developments are still far off, the team are developing Thaumcraft 7 with data packs and resource packs in mind. An API is also being developed to allow modders to develop add-ons for the mod. So far, only one official gameplay video has been revealed, but the team provides updates on their Discord and have also shared a detailed document containing further information and several teasers of the mod's progress. No ETA has been defined for when the mod will become available, but considering the scope of this mod, it will be quite some time before it gets closer to release. reimagining one of the biggest Magic mods of all time to newer versions is no easy task. Come the day when Thaumcraft 7 does release, the mod will no doubt return to the modding scene by storm and spark a resurgence in Magic-themed mods. Next on our list is Parts of Borealis. Under works by a single developer, Parts of Borealis aims to bring the developer's fictional fantasy setting, Borealis, into the world of Minecraft. Bringing its own distinct regions, mobs, blocks, systems, and custom music to uncover, the player will get to immerse themselves in Borealis in all its aspects. One such key component in the mod is the new NPCs players may come across. Throughout the mod, characters from the Borealis world are located across the mod's new regions, from simple merchants offering wares, to characters sharing info and lore about the greater world, and some even being bosses to fight. Each of the added elements reflect the ideas envisioned by the developer's setting. The blocks have a cohesive palette, the GUIs exhibit its own distinct art style, and the ambience and music gives this mod its own signature atmosphere. Parts of Borealis is estimated to have its first alpha release sometime early in 2026 for Forge 120.1, with additional plans to release the mod for Fabric, Neoforge, and future versions. From what's been shown thus far, it would be exciting to play through a new and original fantasy setting in Minecraft. Ice and Fire has been an iconic mod over the last few years for mob mods, and it's easy to see why. Deadly and complex dragons, mythological creatures with powerful rewards and tameable companions, the mod offers much for the players seeking adventure and challenge. Recently, the creators of the mod unveiled the next phase of Ice and Fire, with a sequel, Ice and Fire 2. Ice and Fire 2 is the successor to the original Ice and Fire mod. Its premise remains much the same as the original, but with extensive reworks and overhauls for a smoother, polished Ice and Fire mod. Currently, the mod's first reveal showed off the newly reworked fire dragons, focusing on their behaviours, their lairs, and their tamed counterparts. In addition, the mod drew attention to some of the decorative blocks and armour pieces, as well as the new wizard villages and a tease of the reworked ice dragons. From what else has been shared, the developers plan to reintroduce every creature from the original mod in some capacity, most likely reworking them significantly to give them their own distinct behaviours and qualities, as well as other changes to the mod's items, world generation, and mechanics. Ice and Fire 2 will be playable on Forge 120.1, but as the mod is still a bit in development, it will perhaps be quite some time before an estimated release window is established, hopefully sometime within the year. Patience is important right now to let the developers work their magic in crafting a worthy remake to the original Ice and Fire mod. A sequel, no doubt, that is greatly welcomed by those who enjoy the team's previous mods, and, of course, Ice and Fire. This next upcoming mod, Formicraft, switches things up a bit, and focuses on the most abundant species of small critters on Earth, ants. Formicraft aims to be the one true ant mod for Minecraft, bringing an assortment of new fantasy ant species to discover, fight, or take control of. These ant types will be residing within their colonies across the world. Through these ant colonies, the player will have the ability to create their own colony. A player's ant colony can consist of numerous ant species working in tandem to fulfill a specific purpose, from becoming busy farm workers to an imposing warmongering colony. As ruler of the ant colony, the player can pit their ants against wild colonies, or even other players. The developers share progress on their mod frequently, previewing sneak peeks of the various ant species and devices to encounter in the mod. Formicraft will be targeting Neoforge 121.1 when it's released, but as of yet, no official release window has been determined by the modding team. Whether you're an ant enthusiast or not, Formicraft presents a unique concept for a Minecraft mod and is one promising mod to keep tabs on. Over the last several months, there's been one such modder who's been diligently hard at work bringing the popular game Stardew Valley into Minecraft as a mod. The upcoming mod, Stardew Valley in Minecraft, aims to offer a complete one-to-one playthrough of the game, but in Minecraft. Everything from the progression to the seasons, day and night cycles, crop growth, and visual aesthetic. In just a few months, the developer has already made numerous advancements in the mod's creation, from developing new blocks, tools and items, to implementing the bigger mechanics from the game like seasons and some farming elements. The latest dev update reveals gameplay of the new stamina system, a working wallet and a recreated user interface from Stardew Valley, complete with consistent and fully functional interfaces for the clock and the energy bar. Judging by the scope of this ambitious project, the mod will most likely be in development for several months before a time window can be approximated for playing. Creating a mod is already a timely process, let alone translating an entire game's visual style and mechanics seamlessly, but the mod developer has produced great progress thus far. Whether it'll be in a few months, a year, or beyond, it'll be interesting to see how this mod takes shape. Moving on to the next upcoming mod, there is Witches and Potteries. Despite what the name suggests, Witches and Potteries adds an assortment of fun and wacky utilities to be entertained with whilst progressing through the game. These new items come about through infusing one or more items together to produce something completely different. For instance, getting blueberries by dyeing sweet berries blue. So far, the mod currently includes a couple new armor sets, weapons, wood types, and a few crop types to craft and use. The developer's vision is to create a mod that deviates from Vanilla Plus and instead embraces an abstract direction, resulting to a mod that is both useful, fun, and quirky. The mod will even feature a bare bones resource pack to integrate the mod into players' mod setups, which will be a nice inclusion for those who use bare bones. As of this video, news of the mod has only been shared across Reddit, with no estimated release date or version of Minecraft it will be available on. Seeing modders continue pursuing this approach in mod development is always welcome news, and whatever the progress is on the mod, it will be interesting to see where Witches and Potteries goes to next. Turning to a promising utility mod, there is Photon. Not to be confused with a different Photon mod, Photon aims to provide hot reloading from the data folders in a Minecraft instance, granting instant live feedback to the player about any changes to the game's data. From this, it will allow players to see immediate changes to adding or modifying textures or other assets in the data folder. Currently, Photon has only had a single reveal covering the mod's premise, with no further details about the mod's release date or versions it will be available on. Whatever the status is on the mod, he's hoping the developer is continuing their work on fully realizing this useful mod. Progressing to this next mod is a type of progression mod that appears to inject some cosmic horror into the mix. Exuro is a type of endgame RPG mod, aiming to include an assortment of distinct weapons, gear with difficult challenges, adventures, and a layer of cosmic horror. Exuro will also feature new challenger dungeons, and also a dimension that's not achieved before in Minecraft, a dark mirror dimension of the whole overworld in a possible future timeline, which will not only house its own threats and quirks, but also updates accordingly to changes in the overworld. The developer has made steady progress on the mod, and has been sharing teasers and updates of Exuro's development over on their Discord, including some early test builds. Exuro is being developed for NeoForge 121.1, and has no estimated release window for a full release. Needless to say, Exuro has an intriguing concept, and will be interesting to see what else is in store with Exuro. Jumping over to a promising mod, there's Radiance. Radiance completely replaces the vanilla OpenGL rendering system in vanilla in favour of a Vulkan C++ renderer. This new Vulkan renderer overcomes the bottlenecks from OpenGL, and provides support for hardware-accelerated ray tracing and smooth performance rendering, as well as integrating DLSS and FSR rendering modules. Radiance currently includes accurate global illumination, dynamic block and mob lighting that produce realistic shadows and lighting, and improved atmospheric lighting. All of this remains performance-friendly, enabling players to experience renewed visuals and smooth gameplay without coming to a compromise. Recently, the mod has just been released as an early alpha build for Fabric 121.4, so expect to see many changes to it as the mod develops. Even though the mod is still heavy in development, seeing another Vulkan rendering mod in the works is a welcome inclusion to the modding scene, a project to probably keep an eye on. Space mods are a field of modding that's had constant attention from the modding community, and this final upcoming mod looks towards shaking up the space modding landscape. Voxel's space program aims to create a complex and challenging space exploration mod. Inspired by the Kerbal space program, the mod involves the player assembling their own rockets, but with careful consideration. Aspects like the thrust to weight ratio, rocket staging, and more will all need to be calculated for the player to navigate and enter space safely and freely. These will be designed with Vulcan skies in mind, but the mod will include its own rocket engines and systems that imitate the systems used in the KSB game. However, the mod aims to go beyond intricate rocket assembly and includes a procedurally generated space skybox that moves around the player. Each of the planets will be explorable and feature their own distinct terrain and time zones. No longer will every player experience the same time all at once. Wherever the player is, they'll be living in a time zone that's local to their area. The mod also has other plans to include satellites, time warp, and docking to create the most sophisticated space mod to experience. Voxel's space program is an ambitious project, but the developer's hoping to have the playable release within the next 4 months. He's hoping this project is fully realised, as it may well be one of the most unique space mods to date once it finishes. Each of the projects covered here contain additional links for them in the description, so you can learn more about them, see future updates, or even provide an outlet for you to connect with modern Minecraft players. Of these upcoming mods, which ones are you most excited to see? Or is there any other upcoming mods that you're looking forward to seeing this year? If there is, share them in the comments section.